Well, hot off the back of a first La Liga title in 87 years and only the second La Liga title in the history of Sevilla, the first trophy we've won in non-league to legend this year. It should be an exciting transfer window. The only problem is, because we're in the middle of a board takeover, we're starting it under a transfer embargo. I have a feeling this could go one of two ways. Hello and welcome to Club 6 Part 29 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are going to do a season review of the best season in the history of Sevilla. Certainly the modern history of Sevilla. I think I said in the last episode, winning consecutive Europa Leagues is all well and good, but winning La Liga is that's next level for a club like Sevilla. It's the best they've ever been. And now we have to review that season and then figure out how to do a summer transfer window that involves a transfer embargo, which is handy. But we are going to start things off with a bunch of end-of-season records and review things that have come through. So, firstly, our 81 goals we scored in the league last year is a new Sevilla record. Markovic has set a new La Liga record for clean sheets. What a turnaround for him. A year ago, he was the villain of our Champions League run, having made the mistake that got us knocked out of the Champions League. Comes straight off the back of that, sets a new La Liga record for clean sheets, beating Thibaut Courtois' previous record from 2026. 24 clean sheets out of 38 games over the course of a season. He's utterly ridiculous for Markovic, a man who was signed for £1.4 million, having never been a first-team player, well, rarely been a first-team player elsewhere. Everyone assumed he was coming in as a backup and we needed a better keeper as well. Well, we've got one of the best keepers in the world there, surely, based on clean sheet records. He's got a good defence in front of him, obviously. We didn't get a player. In fact, At's only the third best player in La Liga, apparently. That seems utterly insane. Who's this guy? Manu Nunes. We all know about him. He's the reason Real Madrid have dominated for years. This guy is a right winger at Barcelona, so I guess he's quite good as well. Interesting. Did that say he had a transfer range to be going somewhere? Because it said it's not possible to purchase. Oh, that's because of our transfer embargo, presumably, rather than because he's heading somewhere else. It's because we can't buy anyone at the moment, which is annoying. Although it looks like I'm saying that it looks like the takeover's already gone through, and that's interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. I now want to speed through all this and see how much monies we've got to spend. Korkmaz got third on the top goal scorer thing. Level on goals with some guy called Enrique at Barcelona. Never heard of him personally. And obviously this man, 32 years old now. Hopefully he's hit his peak and he'll be done now. Markovic gets goalkeeper of the year. So let's give him a nice little pat on the back for that. I got Manager of the Year, La Liga Manager of the Year. I've won Manager of the Year quite a few times in my career now. I'd like to, I think. Let's just have a look. I'm now delaying having a look to see. I almost clicked retire by mistake. How do we see overview? Awards is what I'm looking for. Milestones? Awards. So Manager of the Year. So we won Manager of the Year 2 years ago as well. We also won Premier League Manager of the Year at Fulham. So the third time in the career that I've picked up a Manager of the Year. I've never won it in Germany, although I've got Players Manager of the Year, which I value that more because they're my fellow professionals. But this is, still got Team of the Year stuff. I thought we were getting into the takeover business. So this is the La Liga Team of the Year. Look at the state of that. 9 of our players starting in La Liga Team of the Year. Garcia on the bench as well. I mean, that's a pretty good indication that we've put together a half-decent team. Remember, we only beat Real Madrid by 1 point, but we've beaten them by many, many players. It's pretty much Sevilla, Real Madrid dream team with just the one player from Atletico Madrid making up the numbers, and whoever they are. What badge is that? Getafe. Their goalkeeper makes it in. But Markovic, Ryback, Alvaro, Anand Gravosti as the back five. Ats and Gould in midfield. Waste of money. I guess that's why Garcia misses out on the left-hand side of midfield, and then Abraham and Korkmaz as the front two. Considering Abraham's been largely a backup player all year, for him to be considered the second best striker in the division behind Korkmaz, no sign of Enrique anywhere. Excellent stuff. But this is the big news. The takeover has gone through days. I think it's the next day, the day after we won La Liga. A consortium led by, there's lots of words I can't say, has successfully completed the takeover. Delighted with the deal, blah, 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 blah. We've been delisted from the stock exchange. What's he got to say to me? Around £28 million has been pumped into the club's coffers. The board has changed. The new board would like me to follow the following philosophies. I'm not going to pay much attention to that. I think they were the ones we had before anyway. And transfer embargo is lifted, and most importantly, our transfer budget has gone up to £43 million, a £27 million increase. So all of a sudden, we've got some big monies to play with as well. We've still got some gap in the wage budget, but we've actually got, for the first time really in the entire save, I think, we've got a really generous transfer budget to play with to build on a team that's just won La Liga. Surely next year has to be the year we win the Champions League. We're going to try and spend that wisely. I don't think we need a massive overhaul of the entire squad. If we have a look at the players we've got scouted to see who we've got available who's any good, potentially a better goalkeeper, bringing Zielinski in from Hamburg, that might be a sensible piece of business because he's much better than Markovic and now within our price range as well. So we might be making a move there. Other than that, I don't know. What do we need? Maybe another. Should we have a look at the team report? This is probably the sensible thing to do. Look at our squad depth. You could argue we probably need a third striker. Valentini's going to be on his way, as is Fernandez. We probably need a third striker. We could probably do with, if we're committing to the 4-2-3-1, I think Lorenzo's just going to get better and better. But we could probably do with. I mean, we want a 4-star player on the left wing as well. Garcia is now 24 and close to maxed out. So perhaps a real proper world-class inside forward on that left-hand side would be handy. Another option in midfield. We don't have much behind Atz and O'Neill. So perhaps a midfielder or two. I think it's probably time to move Moreno on and really commit to the 4-2-3-1 next season. We could probably do with backup players at full-back and centre-back as well. I mean, there's plenty of places we could strengthen. I think that was the big reason why we weren't able to compete on two different fronts last season, because we've got a very, very, very good first team now. But you look beyond those first team players and we don't have a lot of depth. So hopefully we'll be able to find a few more bargains like Atz to bring in 4 or 5 players who can then sit there as backups in key positions, get better as the season goes on, and really, really strengthen the team. But we'll obviously have to play it by ear a little bit according to what we're able to find, and that's what I will be doing over the course of the next. Who on earth are you, and why are you? Oh, discard list. You're not even my player. Why am I discarding you? I don't understand. So we'll have a nose through these. We're obviously going to send the scouts out to look at some more options as well. And then as soon as we tick around to mid-June, early July, expect to see some players starting to come in as I decide who I'm binning off as well. And another active summer coming up. Hooray! Well, now we've done all of the La Liga awards, I guess we need to look at our own awards and that as well. So, starting off with the overall best 11, we're starting to get a few more players force their way into this now. Markovic has made his way into the starting 11 as the goalkeeper. There's a few other names we recognise in there as well. Centelles at left back, who is now playing for Barnsley. Playing for Barnsley in League One. What a weird transfer that was for him. So he's playing for Barnsley in League One. Ross McCrory ended up going to Lazio, where he's now on the transfer list, but did play a full season in Serie A. What a career that man's had, including a World Cup win. Who else have we got in there that we know? Still none of our midfielders in there. Pozo in on the left wing, who went to Leganés and played like half a season for them. But other than that, none of our lot in. Garcia is on the bench, but you would think that based on the fact we've just won La Liga for the second time in the club's history, a few more names like Atz, for example. Why is Atz not in there? Nobody knows. So we don't need to know where the best 11 currently is. We've got someone who played for us and is now at Manchester United. A goalkeeper. Well, there you go. Manchester United reserve, not quite as impressive. So end of season awards, Ats obviously getting player of the season with 34% of the votes. Gould, waste of money, second place, 28%, and Ryback, 24%. In third place, Ats also got goal of the season for this goal against Levante. So let's have a look. Look, flat back six. What a negative style of football that is. But let's have a look at what Ats did to it to prove that it doesn't really matter. Oh, look at that's just audacious. That's ridiculous. That's with the outside of his boot. Ridiculous goal. Signing of the season, Jason Gould, £70 million, waste of money. And Ats got Young Player of the Year despite being 24. So our team of the season, I think we could probably all name this ourselves. But Markovic in goal, a back four of Ryback, Alvaro, Annan and Gravosti, O'Neill and Ats in midfield. And then Garcia, Lorenzo and Gould in behind. Korkmaz. Stats for the season, Korkmaz top scorer on 25 goals. Ats highest average rating, 7.44. Gould got 16 assists. Waste of money. Mateus, 94% pass completion, is now on the transfer list at his own request and is probably on his way out of the club. Ats got most man of the match awards. And there's the naughty boys down the bottom. So season review, we obviously overperformed. We were supposed to, I think the board were expecting a Champions League finish. Nobody was expecting us to win the league though. And we also outperformed expectations in the Champions League as well. We don't need to worry about where the 2018 team was because it was nothing to do with us. These are our team leaders. Dressing room atmosphere and managerial support both dropping, which is a bit weird. We've just won La Liga. Moreno, O'Neill and Gould are our team leaders. I think we probably do need to move Moreno on this summer, but I don't want to let him go cheap. He is a very, very, very good defensive midfielder. It's just not a system I really want to be using too much going forward. In fact, we didn't use it much this season. He started 6 games in the league, 7 games in Europe. If we can get we turned down £51 million for him last summer. If we get a similar offer to that again this summer, I think we probably have to move him on because £51 million for what is effectively a backup player for a secondary tactic we don't use very much. I think we probably need to be moving him on. End of season team meeting. Well, we have to try and win La Liga again. Congratulations on winning the title. Let's go win it again. Everyone's happy with the expectation to go and win it again, which is good. Confidence review. I'm not untouchable, which I don't understand. I guess that's because we've got a new board in. Pre-season is fine. And interestingly, oh no, it's not Tony Moreno. It's a different Moreno. Has left his agent. We also have a couple of transfers already arranged as well. Zielinski, the goalkeeper from Hamburg, who was our backup keeper when I was at Hamburg. He is coming in for £33 million. 13 million up front, the rest on the Never Never. He's coming in on the 1st of July, which I know probably seems a little bit harsh on Markovic because I've been ranting all episodes so far about how he's a great goalkeeper, but look how much better than him Zielinski is. Zielinski is one of the best young goalkeepers, or the best goalkeepers, I guess, now. Now he's aged 25 in Europe. He is Germany's starting keeper. Markovic is Germany's backup keeper. 97 on the scouting recommendation. The only sign whatever the price player we had on our scout reports, and he could get even better yet. So it was a bit of a no-brainer, a reasonably priced, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So Zielinski is going to be coming in, and we've also agreed the sale of Valentini for £15 million. He's going to be going to Valladolid. And Mateus is probably on his way out for a similar sort of price as well. We've accepted 2 offers for him. I forget who they're from. I know Sheffield United is one of them. Sheffield United and Valladolid again. So they're potentially both going to be going there. All of which means we've brought in a world-class goalkeeper and still got most of our transfer budget left with more money on its way in. So we're continuing to look for players who are actually going to improve the team. There will reach a point where we just start to bring in players for backup, but we're not quite at that point yet. So we will... We'll probably be there by the 1st of July. But I think the main job now is continue scouting, fast forward to 1st of July, see if there's any freebies. There's unlikely to be any that are going to be able to improve this team. And then just fill out the gaps in the squad. It's a team that's just... it was this close to being the team that would finish the series. So I don't think we need to do a huge amount to it over the course of the summer. Players and opportunities will present themselves and we'll bring them in accordingly. But... it's a pretty nice situation to be in, a very good team with a big bunch of money to try and improve it. Can't really ask for more than that, can you? Well, we've made it through to the 1st of July. We have arranged a couple more transfers, one in, one out. So we already, in fact, the one out, oh, it has gone through. Eric Mateus went to Sheffield United, 15 million. I don't know why it's not ticked over to the new season yet, so it's all adding on to last summer's. It'll be a little bit clearer in a few days when presumably we tick over to the new season. But Mateus and Valentini have both gone. Soare, our third choice keeper, has gone out on loan. We've confirmed the signing of Mark Bamba, which was arranged last summer. He's an 18-year-old Ivorian international centre-back who's just going to come in to provide some competition at centre-back. We actually have a little bit of a problem at centre-back as well because Alvaro is wanted by a number of clubs. His release clause is only £38 million and he won't discuss a new contract to extend it. So we could be losing Alvaro. So we need to bring in a big boy centre-back as well, not just a youngster in the shape of Bamba. Zielinski we already knew about. He's come in as our new first choice keeper. And we've also brought in a new third choice keeper as well because Soare has gone. We confirmed just made the loan of Gomez from last season permanent. So he's potential to be a leading La Liga keeper in future as well. So we've now got as our goalkeepers Zielinski, Markovic and Gomez. Schimmel is on his way out of the club. Suarez already gone. So massively upgraded in the goalkeeping department. We've also upgraded the midfield. Jesus Ramos, or I guess Jesus Ramos, he's a Mexican international, 23 years old. He's a deep lying lots of playmakers. Advanced playmaker, we'll obviously use him probably as the deep lying playmaker alongside Atz, rotating him in and out with O'Neill. He's a 23-year-old Mexican international, 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, so better than O'Neill, almost as good as Atz, a leading player for most La Liga sides. There was a lot of teams in for this guy. He is another non-EU player. Don't panic, I'm aware of this. Atz becomes an EU player in like 30 days' time. He'll have done his 2 years here by then, so he'll take Atz's spot as the third non-EU player. But he was a regular-ish performer for Paris Saint-Germain for the last few years, having joined them from Pumas however long ago. 23 years old, he's already played for Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan. So to get him for 30 million quid as a current international, that's not too bad. Look at this stuff that he's 23 years old and he's already won 19 things. The French league multiple times with Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, what's that? 1, 2, 3. I don't know how that counts as 6. That's 3. Some of these are counting double, weirdly. Was he there on loan or something and it's glitched? But he's won the North American Gold Cup with Mexico. Does he win the Champions League? I don't think he has. But lots of trophies, and he's now a part of our midfield. And there are a couple of other transfers we're working on as well. Schimmel, we've already talked about, is leaving. And we're trying to bring this guy in as another right back, raiding Hamburg again, or left back, sorry, as our backup left back. We've already got our young backup right back from last summer that I'll show you again in a second. Hopefully we can bring Bruce in as our backup left back. Ramirez, the backup defensive midfielder, is going to go out on loan again because there's no reason to have him at the club. And we're hoping to confirm the signing of another Jesus, another Mexican international, Jesus Perez, 19 years old, 15 goals from 20 international appearances already at age 19. Proper wonder kid striker, better than Abraham, almost as good as Korkmaz already, potential to get better and better and better. That international record is awesome. The only issue with him is every big club in world football is after him. So we've made our offer. We'll see what happens. We might be bringing in a double Jesus, though, this summer. After all that business, we do still have some money in the transfer kitty, although the wage budget is looking a little worse for wears. So, in fact, with the new board, can we just ask them for more wage budget? Where's that? More? No, apparently we can't. So we're going to have to shuffle some money around. And we might be coming to the end of our transfer business already, depending on what happens with Alvaro, of course. And this is what the team report looks like at the moment. So we have up front, we need this third striker. So hopefully we'll get him in. Midfield, Garcia and Ruiz, we know they're good enough. They're just star ratings aren't necessarily. It would be nice to bring in another attacking midfielder. Lorenzo, remember, is a wonder kid. And he's not showing as a wonder kid anymore. Have we broken Edgar Lorenzo? Only 4-star potential now. Perhaps we'll switch back to the 4-3-3 and get Moreno back in the team. He's still around as well. We've got Lorenzo and Amador as attacking midfield options. Gould, obviously, on the right-hand side of midfield with Montero. And Haynes as a backup, plus Lorenzo and Amador can play out there too. We've obviously got Abraham, who can play on the left wing. Apparently, Korkmaz and Amador can too. In midfield, we've got Ats, New Boy Ramos, O'Neill, Presedo from last summer, who I'm tempted to move on because at age 25, he's not got the potential we'd normally be looking for. And if we can get close to that for him, that would be quite handy to have that money come into the kitty. And still got Moreno around, obviously, as well. And then at the back, we've got Ryback as really our only left back. That's why we're trying to bring in that new one. Right back, we've got Gravosti. And this is the youngster we brought in last summer, still only 17 years old. He's done a year in our B team and we've now promoted him to the first team squad because he looks awesome. So he can be our backup right back for this season. Centre back, we've got Anan, Alvaro, Sanya, and not much else. If Alvaro goes, we really, really need another centre back. We probably need one anyway. And in goal, we're sorted. So if the money, if Alvaro leaves and Moreno leaves and maybe Presedo leaves, because we have got other midfielders. It's not that we stop there. We've got this guy who's got a lot of potential, Peter Ondrejka. We brought him in last summer, current Slovakian international. I don't mind him being my fourth choice midfielder. If we need to move Presedo and Moreno on to bring in a proper world-class attacking midfielder and another centre-back, then I can live with that as a final couple of pieces of business. But we'll have a look to see what's available on free transfers, as ever, on the 1st of July. Don't expect there to be any, because I think we're beyond the point where free transfers can help us. But hopefully, the next time I come back, we'll have at least found an attacking midfielder. The annoying thing is we did have one, but we just can't agree terms with him. He wants too much money. Where is he? I can't remember his name. There he is. Romerick Coffey. I've had offers accepted for him multiple times. He just won't agree terms with us. So he's going to be going to a team that can pay him more money, which is a bit frustrating. But he would have been an absolutely superb signing. I'll try one more time. I just really don't rate my chances of being able to get him. But we'll keep trying. The one that got away. And we'll see where we are. Hopefully we'll get Perez. Perez is the big one that I want. We've pulled off our double Jesus, boys and girls. Jesus Perez, 19-year-old Mexican wonder kid with now 18 goals from 21 international appearances. He's having a good summer, it seems, scoring lots of goals for Mexico this summer in presumably the North American Gold Cup, which I guess he's going to go and win, which would be very nice. But he has joined us for just £9.75 million, immediately comes in at a value of £33 million. And he's apparently almost as good as Korkmaz, better than Abraham. We have our three strikers again. We did miss out on the attacking midfielder, Coffey, was that his name? He's gone to Tottenham. And we've also, the offers for Ats have begun. He has a release clause of £121 million. We should be fine, as long as he doesn't decide he wants to go. But Paris Saint-Germain starting the bidding at £59 million. We know Real Madrid are after him as well. He could leave this summer if we can't keep hold of him. So should we try and offer him another contract again? So he doesn't want to. There's no point offering him more money when it's not extending his release clause. Can we stick that up to 500 million? Wowzers. See how far we can push this. I imagine his agent is going to have something to say about it. I don't know. Let's put it to 200 million and really try and price. That doesn't even price Paris Saint-Germain out. Yeah, his agent said there's no point. It's no more than what he's on now. Let's not bother offering him any more money. Hopefully that doesn't upset him by offering him a contract and walking away. Oh, hello. Off the back of it, he sacked his agent. Well, let's try again. That's potentially massive. Let's try again. So 200 million is what we're aiming for. Why do I have to click each time? Just let me hold down or give me a slider. Or can I type in? Oh, look at that. 200 million. That's what we're looking for. And no, that's a worse contract than your agent was trying to negotiate. Oh well. Financial situation as it stands. Not much money left in either budget. And we are keeping a close eye on Alvaro. If he stays, then I think the squad is close to finish. We still need a left back. We missed out on the one from Hamburg. He's gone to Leipzig, I think. We've got Calvillo back in on trial at the moment. He's probably not the answer. But I think the rest of the squad is looking pretty good. We had a little look at this guy who's been at Barcelona forever, but he's too old. I don't think we need to be bringing in 33-year-olds in any position. So I think we're set attacking-wise. The midfield is looking good. We do need a left back, and we definitely need to try and get Alvaro to sign a new contract, which is a problem. Well, it looks like Alvaro's going to be leaving, unless he wants to talk about a contract now. No. It seems mad that he's not willing to talk to us. Has great respect for me, the agent. Well, I'm glad the agent does. The player is clearly a bit of a tool, because we've just won La Liga. We've got a much better chance than Atletico Madrid of winning the Champions League. I guess, looking at that, he's an Atletico Madrid boy. So he wants to go back there, presumably. There you go, he's an Atletico Madrid fan. And he's got the opportunity to go back to them. So I guess there's nothing we can do about that. How much money are we going to get to spend? 90% of it. So we've got potentially 35 million pounds to spend on a new centre-back. I just don't know that there are any around, unless one of these is going to be the man. I didn't look at what any of them were, but let's have a little look. Kubik, should we try and get him in? I mean, none of these centre-backs are going to massively... They're not an improvement. I was going to say massively improve things. None of them are an improvement at all. The best one that we've got, David Kwame, he's someone we were looking at last summer and decided against getting because he didn't significantly improve things. I guess we have to make an offer for him at this point. So let's go in on the Never Never, trying to spread the Alvaro money as much as we can. Whoa, that's a lot of money. When was his last... It's because we haven't scouted him for so long. So his stock has risen massively. Frederick Christensen. Can we do it again with another youngster? Can we do another Kubik? He's a big risk. Well, he's not actually a big risk because his price is low. We obviously don't want him to be the only one. Currently operating at a Segunda level, so he's not good enough for us yet. We need to re-scout some of these and take our time. There's no rush. The season doesn't start for a little while. So let's re-scout some of these centre-backs and come up with a plan. Well, in some slightly more positive news, it turns out we didn't miss out on Bruce, how do you say his name? After all, the deal that was taking him, I'm sure he was going to Leipzig, fell through for whatever reason. So we've now brought him in. We have our backup left back. He's only 17, 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He'll be our backup to Ryback at left back, raiding Hamburg once again for £8 million. That does use up pretty much our entire transfer budget. We have identified the centre back that we want. It is... Oh, Leonardo Silva. There he is. That's the one we're after. So this would be our direct replacement for Alvaro. Currently playing for Sporting Lisbon. Has played a couple of times for Portugal, but by no means a regular. But looking at my scout reports, he is slightly better than Annan, much better than Alvaro, cheaper than Alvaro, just a straight swap. And we just need the Alvaro deal to go through before we need to finalise the Leonardo Silva one. So we need the money from that to pay for that. Well, Alvaro's gone. Ventura's probably going with him as well as we rebuild the entire defence, apparently. Alvaro, considered an elite centre-back, although I wouldn't even consider him for a second if he came with my scout report with a 59. What's that all about? But he has moved on. Nice little tidy profit we've made on him in 2 years. Leaves our transfer budget looking like this. And now, hopefully, we can just finish off the deal for Leonardo Silva, which will still leave us with a decent amount of spensies because this one's on the Never Never, whereas that one was all in one go. A little bit worried as well. There's been more offers in for Ats. We've now reached as high as £75 million from Paris Saint-Germain. We need to be keeping an eye on it. It's a worry because there is no replacing him. He's completely irreplaceable, but hopefully we can keep hold of him. They've got to offer us £121 million in cash in one go for his release clause to kick in, and hopefully that just won't happen. I hope. We have our new centre-back, Leonardo Silva, is in for £33 million from Sporting Lisbon. 4-star, current ability centre-back, comes in to partner Annan, and that is a good-looking centre-back partnership. It would be nice to bring in some backup, especially with Ventura leaving. We did bring in that other centre-back this summer, whose name I can't remember. Sanya is there as backup as well, but I think we've improved the defence there. Alvaro's gone. We've brought Silva in for less than Alvaro went for. He does need to learn the language, but other than that, positive stuff. And we've still got money to spend as well, which is awesome. And we've spent the spare money on an attacking midfielder. It's an expensive one, £44 million. 21-year-old attacking midfielder, Josip Benko, who's got 24 caps for Switzerland already. 4-star, current ability player. Much better than Lorenzo and Amador as an attacking midfield option. We're fully committed to the 4-2-3-1 now, and I think we're probably done unless we end up selling somebody else. I think this is our squad. We're pretty much spent up money wise. We've got Zielinski, Markovic and Gomez as goalkeeping options, Rybak and Bruce as left backs, Gravosti and Gion as right backs. Obviously Annan, Silva, Sanya, they can all play out at fullback as well if need to. Annan and Silva as our starting centre backs, with Sanya and Bamba, who's the youngster who came in this summer, as backup options. I wouldn't be against another centre back turning up if I had to do some more business, but I can go with that. It would just be nice to have another first team quality centre-back, just in case we get an injury to Annan or Silva. In midfield, we've got Atz, Ramos, O'Neill, Moreno, Presedo. That looks like 5 very good central midfielders. So much so that the youngster, what's his name, Ondrejka, he's going to be going out on loan. We've accepted a loan offer for him. And then attacking midfield, we've got Benko, Lorenzo and Amador. I'm tempted to move Amador on. Age 24, he's a useful player to have because he can play in so many positions. But he's unlikely to get very much game time at all, with Lorenzo being our homegrown wonder kid, who I'm more likely to push as backup to Benko. So Amador, if we get an offer for him, we might move him on because he's around about fourth, fifth choice in all these attacking midfield positions, but he's not likely to start in any of them. I don't know what kind of value he's got on him at the moment. I mean, if we could get 30 million for him, we could reinvest that in a defender and that would be delightful. So he's very much on the market. I'm not going to transfer list him, but if an offer comes in, he can move on. Left wing, Garcia and Ruiz. We haven't really done any kind of upgrade there, but we know how good Garcia and Ruiz can be. They're both fluent goal scoring midfielders. I'm not desperate to upgrade them despite the relatively low star ratings. It's kind of the weak point of the entire squad now. Right hand side, we've got Gould and Montero and Hanus can back up. Lorenzo and Amador, and I mean Amador, Abraham, these are all players who can back up in those positions. And then we've got Korkmaz, Perez, Abraham as strikers, again with Amador knocking around as a backup option. Finance wise, we are spent. Let's just see if we can drag ourselves back into our wage budget. We can. A little bit of money left. It would be nice to bring in another defender, like I say, but I'm not desperate to. And I think there's a very good chance this is the squad that moves into next season, unless we get big offers for Amador or Moreno or that we can't do anything about. But I think both Amador and Moreno, if we get offered their base values, they'll probably move on. Well, transfer window not quite closed. We've just turned down an offer from Paris Saint-Germain for Annan now, £56 million. He's not happy I didn't let him go. I've promised him we'll have a run towards the latter stages of the Champions League this season. We did that last year. We should be okay, but he's another one who we might. This is the problem with getting the older ones, 27 years old now. And I guess presumably it's a similar situation to with Alvaro. He is French. Is he a Paris Saint-Germain fan? No. In fact, he wasn't even born in France. So perhaps it's not a similar situation. And based in Spain, because obviously plays for us. But we've kept hold of him for now. The transfer window is still open for a little while, so he might yet depart. We have loaned Gomez out to go and play in goal for Getafe for the season, and trying to get some of his potential fulfilled. Raul's also gone out on loan. A few of the youngsters who are sort of fringe players have gone out on loan. This is what the transfer window looks like so far, and I think we're probably done unless we sell somebody. But first, we're playing the Spanish equivalent of the Community Shield. I'm not going to show you the game because who really cares? But this is the team that we're going to be playing. Korkmaz is injured and he's going to miss the first couple of months of the season with a torn hamstring. So we're starting with Abraham initially. We've got Perez as well. Might be a little bit soon to be throwing Perez straight into the team. But this is the team that's going to be playing against Levante in whatever this game is called. I don't even remember what it's called. Zielinski in goal, Rybak, Silva, Annan and Gravosti at the back, Ramos and Ats in midfield, Garcia, Lorenzo and Gould in behind Abraham. So I'm going to go and play that game. I'll show you the result and then we will do the final week leading up to the first couple of games of next season, which will be Monday's episode. Well, we have our second trophy, the match after securing our first trophy. Obviously, it's one that nobody actually cares about. We won 8-0. It was absolutely dominant and ridiculous. And Abraham absolutely I'm not even going to do a team talk myself. Abraham staking a claim for starting the first game of the league season ahead of Perez with Korkmaz injured by scoring 5 of the 8 goals himself. It's the first... I think that's the first 10 out of 10 performance I've seen on FM19. It was absolutely superb from Abraham. Still only 24 himself, remember. Potentially this might be the season that Abraham says, look, you know what? I've been pretty consistent in this league for 4 years now across 2 different clubs. Now I'm going to become an absolute superstar. 5 goals. And obviously Ats doing very well as well. So we've now got a week until the first game of the new season. There's, like I say, very unlikely going to be any more transfers, but we'll just double check anyway and then have a look at the team that starts the new season, which will be Monday's episode. No further transfers, and obviously after an 8-0 win, I was never going to change the team for the first game of the new season anyway, but a mini injury crisis has kind of made sure that I don't. In addition to Korkmaz, Perez is now injured for the first 3 weeks of the season, so Abraham is our only striker. And new attacking midfielder Benko is also out for the first 3 weeks of the season as well. So we're a little bit light in attack going into the first couple of weeks of the new season. Obviously, we do still have Abraham, Lorenzo, we've got Amador as an option as well, Ruiz on the left-hand side and Montero on the right, but it's not exactly where we wanted to be at this stage of the season, but at least we've got some nice strength in depth everywhere else. The fact we've got someone like O'Neill, a World Cup winning, world-class midfielder on the bench, that's huge progress from last year. But this is going to be the team that starts the season, certainly, and we'll see how we get on in Monday's episode against Celta Vigo and Villarreal. We'll also have the closing of the transfer window and the Champions League draw in that video as well. Oh, that has been a slog recording that video. You've probably been able to tell from the odd choking moments. My cough is back with a vengeance, and I didn't think I was making it through this video. If, for whatever reason, Sunday's home video didn't come out, that was why, because I wasn't able to record it. But fingers crossed, I can still record that video now. But if there isn't a video tomorrow, that's why. But we will wrap this one up there. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.